Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Tilly the Comic Cooks. I am going to be first making a cocktail like we always do, either off screen or on screen, today on screen. And since we're going to be making dark chocolate chip cookies, I'm going to be making Dalgona coffee, which is that whipped coffee drink you saw that was like everywhere on Instagram over the summer. That's what I'm gonna make because I tried it and it's kind of yummy. And of course I'm gonna add booze to it. Okay? All right, so to begin, got instant coffee or instant espresso, wherever, how expensive, however cheap you wanna go, up to you. You could probably even get Starbucks instant espresso. Don't support the evil empire. Anyway, so they say like equal amounts, 2 tablespoons, but it's a pain in the ass to whip a couple tablespoons. So, oh, by the way, I just want to digress here for a second. I would like to point out my amazing apron that I got. As well as I am going to be doing a little stand-up later in this episode. So I'm wearing my Lizzo shirt that I used to wear every Boise's Funniest Person competition night, which my fellow comedians will crack up at that, the ones who know me from that, because I have an outfit that I wear when I do comedy if I need the extra luck. And so since I haven't done anything in front of anybody for I figured I'd wear this for good luck, as well as my fabulous apron since I don't want to get it covered in flour. Okay, Hot Dish aprons made in Boise, Idaho. Gotta shout them out. Lizzo, gotta shout her out as always. All right, now coffee. I don't know why I have butter in the middle there, but that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, we've got equal parts espresso powder, okay, boom. I'm doing more than a couple of tablespoons. I'm going to do a heaping scoop of this sugar because I know it's a little intense coffee, so I'm going to add a little bit extra. Boom, okay. Just like this, okay. And then I'm going to mix these together just a little bit, just to make the initial blending, okay? Then it says add the same amount of hot water. So I'm doing that, okay? Shout out to the fancy teapot I bought my husband. Here's a tip. Buy one really expensive, good teapot that will last a lifetime, as opposed to the 4 previous I bought him over our 15-year relationship. Okay, anyway, you have a tea drinker in the house. So here we go. Now, some people do this shit by hand. I am not that drunk nor that high, nor on any painkillers currently. So I am going to switch over to a hand gag, from a hand job to an electric job. Anyway, my parents might be washing that, so I'm not going to go there yet. I use one because it's easier. Okay. I will come back in a second. Okay. So, starting to foam up, as you can see. But underneath this, there's still liquid. So basically, you're going to wait until this gets lighter and more whipped, whoop, 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 and try to get all the liquid out of the bottom, essentially. It takes longer than they say it takes. So, and then eventually I'm going to switch over to 2 beaters. Just beat it. Okay. The mood actually is jazz today. I'm trying to keep it chill while we have our coffee and our cookies. Anyway, see you soon. Okay, it's starting to thicken up. You can kind of tell just it's getting there, but it's like taking me a couple minutes. at least, and it's gonna take me a few minutes more, so I'll be back. And then we can start drinking, for God's sakes. Okay, we're finally at the next stage, but I have to share this because I was trying to think of the word off camera. And I was wondering if this plastic bowl I'm using is safe to be using with metal beaters. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure it's like one of those hard plastics, Mennonite. And I was like, no, I think you mean melamine or melamine, whatever it's called, not the religion Mennonite. Anyway, I'm a dork. Okay, so we are at the almost chocolate mousse stage of this. I'll show you really quick. See? I don't know if you can see that. Stiff peaks. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, let go and go whoop like that. All right, not quite stiff peaks yet. Getting close. So, depending on how anxious you are, you can go for a light whip or you can go for a heavier whip. I'm going to whip it just for a second more, and then we're going to start building our drink. Okay, I'm super glad I'm wearing the apron. I got a little excited. Okay, I'm going to make our drink in a big ass glass just because I want it to look pretty, okay? I'm going to be using non-dairy milk or nut juice, which we all know what nut juice is, so let's not call it that. I'm using unsweetened coconut because you don't need a lot of sweet with this for the most part, especially with the mixer we're putting in. So, one of the reasons I try not to have anything prepared is because I'm a lazy bitch and I only do this on kind of the spur of the moment and have to get my courage up for it. Notice I'm rocking a very epic Bob's Big Boy swoop here. Woo! Anyway, also, I figure, you know, it's nice to see how people work in their kitchen. Like if you were sitting at my kitchen table and I was baking while you were talking to me. That's kind of what I'm going for. Anyway, coconut milk unsweetened. Do-do-do-do-do. Let the cool jazz sounds in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't want it too loud, but anyway. All right, next, got this. We are going to slowly pour in the Omaras. This is for the people who are fiending before or after the liquor stores are closed. Got an itch you just can't quite scratch? Omaras is in the wine section of your local store. They have other brands, but we've only used Omaras. Anyway, I'm trying to build this so you can kind of see how we do this. I'll do it. I'll just do an equal amount of the Omaras like I did with the coffee. All right. So it's kind of fun because you can pour it in slowly and boom goes the dynamite, right? Looks like a Bailey's Irish coffee right there, huh? Okay, next we're gonna spoon on the whipped coffee, which is now the consistency. Look at that. Oh, looks like a heart with a smiley face in the middle. It's meant to be. All right, now we're gonna take a big old spoonful. Ooh, that just fell. And we're gonna plop it in the middle. Ah! That's awesome. And take another big old spoonful. Plop. All right. You can add as much as you want. However, I will warn you, I've had this before. Look at that. Pretty awesome. You can keep this in the fridge for a while, as well as this is very intense. Like, that's a sweet ass drink. Okay. So, cheers. I'm going to whip it first because that's helpful. I'm going to use my fabulous straw. Oh, I'm going to have to borrow my son's fabulous straw from Sawtooth Glassworks. Boom. Sorry, I had to go to a drawer. My dad hates it when I go off screen, but that's okay. I'm going to use my fabulous straw from Sawtooth Glassworks. And that was 3 layers. You saw that. And this is basically Irish coffee. If I was even better prepared, I would have stopped at the liquor store and gotten some Kentucky bourbon for this, or for my husband, Irish whiskey. All right. Oh. Yeah. There we go. So good. And you know, start with a little, and if you need to add more coffee, add more coffee. It's very intensely Irish creamy, so I'm going to add a little bit more whipped coffee. All right. Cheers. Bink. We're going to start cooking next. Okay, I made a mini non-alcoholic, hand to God, version for my son with chocolate sauce. Grown-ups who want to make it more mocha-y, you can add some chocolate sauce too. And we're back, ready to bake, and I'm going to give you my little warning. For people who are real bakers, you're going to hate the way I bake. You'll see why if you make it through the video. For people who really need to have exact measurements all the time, for sure, be neat, easy peasy. I am sort of a abstract expressionist when it comes to baking and mixing recipes. So, so good. Anyway, all right. First thing, preheat the oven to 350. Next, whatever oil you use, coconut oil, butter, margarine, I'm going to be using fake butter, country crock. It gives it a little butter flavor. I use coconut oil all the time. Works just as good. Yeah. It's one or the other. My family probably prefers coconut butter, but I dig this consistency. All right, so I'm going to measure out about a cup. That's eyeballing it. Eyeball it. It looks like about a cup. You know, that's about a cup, right? All right. Next, since we're making dark chocolate chip cookies, I want to add brown sugar and white sugar. You can also use coconut sugar. You can also use honey. You know, just depending on what oils and stuff, you may have to add more or less flour. And of course, we're going to be gluten-free and dairy-free today. You can go egg-free with flax gel or egg replacer. So we're going to put in brown sugar. I fill it about halfway, 2/3 of the way up. Then I top it off. Okay. Boom. A little bit extra. I sometimes do less than a cup of sugar just because with chocolate chips you don't need to add the extra sugar. But, so again, 1 cup oil, 1 cup sugar, okay? And then we are going to whip these together, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a sec. Okay, I have a stand mixer, but you can always use a hand mixer, or you can just do it by hand. But I like to whip it good. You can see that okay. Really whip the crap out of it. The frothier and lighter you get, technically the frothier and lighter you would hope the cookies to be. Next we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla and 2 eggs. All right, so I'm going to crack those in there and I'll be right back. Okay, gonna do the 1 hand crack. Bam. Which is horrifying because you should crack it into a bowl in case there's a bad egg. But if it turns out to be a bloody mess, I mean, hey, that's good for TV, right? All right, second egg. Again, this is another one of those situations where I like to eyeball the vanilla because I really like vanilla. If I'm out of vanilla, I will steal some of my husband's scotch. That adds a really, really nice flavor. Boop. Always use a better quality vanilla, but really, unless the flavor is like pure vanilla, you're not gonna necessarily get it, you know. Or straight booze, whiskey, scotch, good. In a pinch, vodka. Tequila, depending on the cookie, I think tequila would be pretty good. But anyway, I'm rambling about booze. Shocking. Cheers. So we eyeballed our teaspoon of vanilla, and now we're gonna drop it in there and whip it good. Not that fast. I think I just got splattered. All right. Nice, creamy, light, fluffy-ish. Not super light and fluffy right now, but lighter and fluffier again. Lighter and fluffier the cookies. Okay. Now we're going to get our flour. And I do like to put all the dry ingredients into one bowl. You can... Ah! Shit. Sorry about that. You can choose... I may have to edit that out. We'll see. It depends on how ear-piercing and earth-shattering it is to you. Dry. Hurt the dog's ears. Sorry, baby. I'm sorry. Anyway, I have these cool jars. And this is filled with Bob's Red Mill, gluten-free flour, all-purpose baking flour. It's great. It already has xanthan gum in it. I do have a little bit of extra xanthan gum on the side because I use it because I'm also using almond flour in this recipe. And xanthan gum is a good little binder. I personally don't like the taste of xanthan gum, so I don't ever use as much as recipes call for, but sometimes it's necessary. So don't take my word for anything. I will tell you my shit tastes good. Okay, that's the only thing I can promise. So, I'm going to scoop out about a cup, a little over a cup of the Bob's Red Mill. And then I'm going to scoop out a little over a cup of the almond flour. Okay, boom. Oops, I should show that more. Again, still learning, episode 3. Okay, got that. Got my fabulous old school jars. Almond flour, same. So again, to recap the recipe, because this is one you should have memorized, because this is the basic recipe for any cookie, pretty much, is, oops, okay, that was a little bit more than I expected. 1 cup of fat, 1 cup of sugar, half and half, ideally half brown sugar, half white for these kind of cookies, but white sugar if it's just sugar cookies. 2 cups of flour, 2 eggs, it's all 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So, 2 cups of flours, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon or less of baking soda, what else? Flour, salt, a little bit of xanthan gum. My My dogs are being annoying in the background. I do about a 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon xanthan gum per cup of flour. Other places will say a teaspoon per cup, but again, I'm not a fan. All right, I got those all there. If you want a more refined flour blend, sift it. I'm sorry, my dogs are distracting me. All right, so I just stirred it up to get the baking soda, the salt, and 111 and the xanthan gum all mixed up, ready to add to this mixture. Now, they say with gluten-free flours, God, my dyslexia is coming out wicked bad right now. With gluten-free flours, you don't want to overmix. But I like to mix it kind of fast, quick, get it in there, because then you're going to add the chocolate chips. So we're going to, let me see if I can twist this and rotate it a little bit so you can see how I add it. Ooh, okay. So I'm going to add probably about half of it in there. And just start it low and slow. Okay, just a hair in there, right? Add a little bit more. Okay. So I want you to see it because it's damn close, if you can see that. It's damn close. Okay, here, I'll lift this out, see if you can see that better. All right, so it's pretty well incorporated, but not, ooh, 100%. Okay. Next, I'm going to add a 1.5 cups or so chocolate chips. I can never add 1 cup. Okay. Then we're going to mix it together. I'm going to just make it so all the chocolate chips are mixed together, and then we're going to put it onto a cookie sheet. I'll show you how I do that. Okay. You can get this at Winco. This is my favorite affordable dark chocolate chip. Guittard, Guittard, extra dark chocolate chips. It's amazing. Okay, now I'm gonna mix them in. Okay, this is seriously perfect. It's really nice, white, fluffy looking, right? It's a little bit more liquid than I normally am used to. But again, I am trying to whip it a little harder than I have in the past. And I'm also using the Country Crock. But I really love the way it smells. I love the way it looks. And this is what I do. I get a big ass pan and put parchment paper on it. Once you go parchment, you'll never go back. You can use it to line the bottom of cake pans. It's amazing. Best secret ever. Anyway, so got this. You want an ice cream scoop, you can get a giant one or you can get a professional cookie one, right? I went to a local store. I do about a rounded scoop and just set it down. I like my cookies to spread. If you don't like your cookies to spread as much, you can have a stiffer dough. I'm kind of curious to see how these turn out. They look perfect. I'm just going to do 9 per sheet, I think, just to make sure they have enough room to spread. Again, oven's at 350. I also like this because you can make your cookies a little bit more even this way, which, despite the fact that I like to roll the dice with the ingredients, I do like to have a roughly the same size cookie so that it's fair for everybody. It's the Libra in me. Although now we're in Scorpio season, so we're never going to hear the end of that, are we? By the way, shout out to Madam Vandersnatch on Instagram. You are amazing, and happy birthday. All right. Here they are. Okay. Let me taste the dough. Always taste the dough, because if it sucks in this form, it's going to suck in cookie form. That's good. Oh, yeah. That'll be good. Okay. Wow, that's really good. Okay. Again, 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of mixed sugar, 1 cup of oil or fat, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, baking soda, sorry. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of vanilla, and I said the 2 eggs. That's it. And then a cup of chocolate chips or 2 cups of chocolate chips. All right, here we go in the oven. Put it in the middle to upper racks. Okay, I'll show you what it looks like. Beautiful. Okay, boom. We're gonna put them in for 10 minutes to start. I'm gonna go do stand up, and we will meet back for coffee and cookies post stand up. Okay, timer went off, so we'll discuss what happened back there in just a second. But first, I want to check the cookies. Oh my gosh, they have spread out beautifully, but I feel like they should have like a minute or 2 more. Let me show you if I can quickly. Boop. Okay, that's it. Hopefully that worked because I wasn't watching. All right, taking the cookies out. I put them in for a couple more minutes. I wanted to get them golden brown. This one's starting to go a little to the dark side. So I'm going to actually slip them off the parchment paper directly onto the cooling rack and hope that there's enough space on the cooling rack for these big bad boys. All right. Yay, check it out. See if I can tip it downward. Probably not. There we go. Ta-da! All right. Once they're cool, we'll meet back for more drinks and cookies. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tilly's Tiki Bar. Here's your host and only comic of the night, Tilly the Comic. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. So happy to be here. Happy to be wearing clothes. Thank you. I realize I have really crappy bras, so if one of my boobs suddenly droops, don't be alarmed. It's not having a stroke. Thank you. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. I can't remember. Is it medical calls or job calls where it's no news is good news? Because I'm getting a hell of a lot of one and none of the other. I am what you would call a medical prodigy. I was made for science, specifically dissection. Yes, lots of medical problems. There's a reason I am making gluten-free and dairy-free food. It's because I can't eat it. I realized over the pandemic that I self-abuse by eating and drinking shit that I shouldn't. So, you know, you have those people that cut themselves. You have those people that vomit up their food. I simply eat mac and cheese and drink a whiskey Coke. I too am in the bathroom for an uncomfortably long time. We all have things to work out or through. You know what I mean? Ew, gross. Anyway. Between the pandemic, joblessness, and yard projects, I'm pretty sure my entire neighborhood is sick of seeing me braless. Just a pale Sasquatch trudging through our yard, just tits hanging low. Yeah, it's bad. 8 months. 8 months for me. 7 months? 8 months. Shit, that's how long it's been. I figured out some other things during the pandemic. Lincoln car ads have gotten really, really weird. if you've seen the latest one, Matthew McConaughey gives a TED Talk with no point whatsoever. Watch it. You'll understand. Another thing I realized is my mom kills me because she always calls me when she happens to be on the toilet. I don't know if this is some sort of like subconscious thing, like, oh, I'm pushing something out of my body, similar to my child, similar to childbirth. Or it could be just, oh yeah, I should call that little shit. Another thing I've discovered during the pandemic. One thing I've noticed during the pandemic as well is that slime videos and ASMR videos, their creators ask these questions that drive me absolutely crazy. Like, what's your favorite color Power Ranger? Put an emoji heart of the favorite color. Or my favorite, what's your favorite cloud? Like, and if you could be any cloud, which one would you be? Who's answering these questions? Everyone's staring slack-jawed at their phones. Some of them may be masturbating. Just shut up and finger bang your slime, okay, Becky? Honestly. My parents are very sweet, and they recently told us, hey, just so you know, we're putting away some money for your son's college fund. And I was like, wow, that's super sweet and generous of you. However, I think we may want to use it towards gun turrets for his Mad Max death machine that he's going to need in the not too distant future, given how 2020 has gone so far. And also, even the WWE gets the hint. They now have the Wrestling Thunderdome, sponsored by Progressive. Yes, your dystopian future will definitely be brought to you by a corporate sponsor, for sure. Oh my gosh. Another funny thing that I've noticed on my free time is that there's a lot of really fancy brand name cars right now that are putting out stuff that looks like everyday cars. Like the Mercedes now has something that looks like a Honda CRX. Just buy the CRX and get it pimped out, okay? Don't spend money on the Mercedes D4 dipshit class, also known as the D-bag. It's a waste of money, okay? All right, before I have to go, every now and then as a parent, your child says something super profound and it kind of stops you in your tracks and blows your mind. When I was having the talk with my son, who's 9, oh, that's my time, so I can get those cookies out of the oven. All right, I'll finish telling the joke once the beeping stops. Okay, so after I explained to him, you know, the talk, birds and bees, you know, sex, etc., he says to me, so technically we're all penis particles? And I thought for a second, holy shit. Whoa, that's pretty deep. And then I realized my son is a white male. So I quickly corrected him and said, no, son, we are all ovary particles. The patriarchy wants you to believe we're penis particles, but that's just not the case. But without my ovary, you'd be a milky puddle on Dad's sheets. Thank you. Let's go check our cookies. That's been Tilly the Comic and the Tiki Bar with the microphone to nowhere. Oh, my cookies are burning. All right, back in the tiki bar. I actually felt pretty good about that. I didn't use all my notes like I thought I was going to. I definitely need to work a lot, but I hope you enjoyed it. I had to clip in one part of a joke that I thought was pretty funny, so hopefully that doesn't bug you. Cookies, looking beautiful, light, fluffy, beautiful texture. Good flavor. Nice. As they say on the Great Baking Show, a little bit of sponge. A little bit of sponge. All right, this has been Tilly the Comic Cooks, episode 4. Hopefully you're enjoying your Dalgona coffee. And your gluten-free, dairy-free cookies. Because they're just as good as other ones. Although, local bakery in town, bless their hearts, they got great frostings, but oof. These are better. Make them yourself. Look at that. That's a good test. If your ice cubes can't penetrate to the bottom of your iced coffee, you have whipped it proper. Whip it good, baby.